Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Country Conversations with Jeeba D, and this is going to be my Grammy wrap up. All I'm going to do is talk about what Jay-Z said and how we are feeling as African Americans during this great Black History Month. I'm going to say what I've said my whole entire life prior to 1983-ish, 84-ish, when Michael Jackson won. Okay? It was a proud moment for African American people, but by that time, we have to honestly say that Michael Jackson wasn't really rocking with the Black community like that. It is what it is. So we are mad. Why? We are mad. Why again? During the 80s and the 90s, I saw Michael Jackson repeatedly being celebrated by the Black community. Black shows. I saw him repeatedly being celebrated by Soul Train. This is before the BET Awards. Being celebrated by Soul Train. Saw him being celebrated by the Lady of Soul Awards. You know, he and Janet. And then when his career began to shift, when the Caucasian community began to see him differently because of these trials and stuff, then all of a sudden, here he is. The first time I had seen him on the Soul Train Awards in my life, okay, was after the first accusation. And I believe that was in 1992. So from 1974 or 79-ish, I think it was 79-ish, 74, 79-ish, when Off the Wall came out. I'm doing this by memory, okay? So leave me alone. Okay, so I know when Off the Wall came out, it was in the late 70s or the early 80s because I was a kid, and I know that Thriller came out in 1983. Bad came out probably around 86ish, 87ish. I'm doing a little timeline here so you can understand where I am coming from. He won an award for Remember the Time. Guys, come on. We are always celebrated in our community. Again, we are too caught up in assimilation. Okay? We're too caught up in it. Now, I looked at the Soul Train Awards when Keke Palmer hosted it. It was an upscale affair. It was what it was. It was a nice event. And Beyonce didn't show up. Nobody is calling this young lady out for these transgressions. The assimilation is killing us, people. We cannot force the Caucasian community to accept us. Okay? Listen to me carefully. But you get up on stage and you make these announcements and you make these speeches like, okay, my wife should have won Album of the Year. Of course, I'm going to play what he said. My wife should have won Album of the Year. You know, she hasn't been celebrated as she should with 32 Grammys. Yes. And why are you surprised by that? 32 Grammys is not celebrated. It is indeed celebrated. But you know, if she's in a category with a Taylor Swift for Album of the Year, year after year, and Adele or whoever, and even though Adele has a soulful sound, she's still Caucasian. And even though she's with a black man, she's still Caucasian. Okay? My mother told me when I was little, don't expect anything out of the Caucasian community that they wouldn't give to each other first. Let me repeat that. Do not expect anything out of the Caucasian community that they wouldn't give to each other first. Okay? Then, on top of that, the NAACP Awards, upscale affair. All the elite black people in Hollywood. When was the last time you saw Jay-Z and Beyonce there? Talk to me, people. My subscriber count is going up like the video, and share the video. I said what I said. It is what it is. If you want to be in this world of a simulation, you're just going to have to quit complaining about it, because it ain't going to happen for you. Now, if Beyonce was in the category album of the year with nothing but a bunch of black women, she'd win. I said what I said. She would win. Her or Rihanna. But if they have the damn chance or a window to give it to who they think is more popular, then that's who they're going to give it to. Understand me on that. And now I'm going to play what Jay-Z said at the Grammys, and then stay tuned for more commentary behind that. And even though this soundbite is all over the place on different sites, I got mine from Entertainment Tonight. I'm going to cite my sources, as I was taught to do. Give them their credit. Again, this video soundbite came from Entertainment Tonight. Fair use commentary coming to you. Everything is alleged and in my opinion. Here we go.
You know, it's music and it's opinion based. I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. And forget the Grammys for a second. Just in life, as my daughter sits and stares at me nervous as I am, you got to keep showing up. Just keep showing up. Forget the Grammys. You got to keep showing up until they give you all those accolades you feel you deserve. Until they call you chairman. Until they call you a genius. Until they call you the greatest of all time. Feel me? You know, it's music and it's opinion based. I don't want to embarrass this.
You hear that? Did you hear that? Baby, when I tell you that black folks was going up for that, and I'm not saying what he's saying isn't true. What I'm saying is, do we have to expect them to accept us giving them our best? Give your best to those who celebrate you, and the rest of them, they can go to hell. That's how I see it. Beyonce has been Beyonce in the black community since no. Okay? And it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It is nice to be celebrated worldwide. It is nice to get accolades and be recognized by everyone. But at the same time, like I said, we have to understand as African Americans, or whatever you want to call yourself, because I know we've been changing it to Indigenous American, but don't get me started with that mess. Even the indigenous ones of us that were here came from Africa. Foolishness. Woo! Foolishness. When you deny Africa and you deny your African DNA, you deny the slave trade. Okay? And so, even if you are indigenous and every member of your family is indigenous, all of us are not. Some of us did get ancestry through coming on a slave ship in the middle of the ocean, crossing over to America, and getting here by that. And if we are one people, then why deny that? Indigenous ones. Don't get me started on y'all, because y'all have a tendency to deny the slave trade when you say you're indigenous. Foolishness. Straight foolishness. Don't get me started on that. I don't went to that. Okay. Anyway, do your own research about that. My people are from the Ivory Coast. Like I said, if I deny that they weren't stolen from the Ivory Coast, then that is dishonoring them. And you indigenous ones, you are dishonoring those of us who recognize that the slave trade was very real. I told this one fool on Facebook the other day, if you don't believe in the slave trade and you don't believe that that happened to you, it's one thing that Caucasian slave masters did, and they did well. They kept records of their slaves. All you have to do is go to your local library, research the last name that was given to you, and you will find your owner. Because if you were not owned by a slave master, then you should not be walking around with their last name. Right? You understand that? The last name is the key. And those slave documents will show where you were bought. It may not show where they got you from in Africa, but it'll show what port you came from. Because my ancestors were brought to the port of South Carolina. And that's why it's called the slave trade, idiots. It means they traded from one country to one state to the other. Foolishness. But I said all that to say, appreciate the sacrifice. Appreciate the sacrifice of your stolen slave ancestors. Don't start here in America, because we're building from the ground up still, 400 years later. And if you don't understand that, then you have a problem. And when we do things to celebrate your accolades, show up. Show up. Now, I'm not talking about the BET Award because they declassé at this point. But we can get it back to where it was. We don't have to invite folks like Sexy Red who's standing up in the middle of the audience talking about her booty hole is brown. Now, if you want to invite that kind of element, get her a damn stylist and get her a damn PR person and clean her ass up. And let her come too. But at the same time, we're going to have some decorum at our award events. And that's not exactly why Beyonce didn't show up to the BET Awards. My point is, she didn't show up. Because there have been classy black affairs that she didn't show up to. My point has always been, you don't have to beg anybody for anything. You know how talented you are. Stop begging. Because that's what it looks like to me. And everybody, ooh, Jay-Z said that. Ooh, she said that. And again, to me, it looks like begging. You know who you are. You know what you represent. She knows what she represents. If you don't feel appreciated, let them have their awards. If you don't go each year, they'll see. They will lose that almighty black dollar. Don't you realize how important it is? We don't get it. Jay-Z and Beyonce, you both been in the game long enough to be able to chunk up the deuces. You have. And I know it's an honor to be accepted and praised by the majority. But don't forget that it's also an honor to be praised by those who look like you. And with that, let me close. I'm on my soapbox this morning. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to all the other award winners. I didn't watch it. I hadn't watched it probably since the early 90s. I've seen clips. Okay? Again, I'm going to close there. This is Country Conversation. I get passionate about stuff. That's why I had to start my channel. People weren't saying the right shit to me. Okay? They weren't saying the right shit. I'm going to close there. Country Conversations, Diva D, come on in while it's commercial-free entertainment. Not much longer. It won't be commercial-free much longer. Come on in, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I share my own videos. I'm my own PR team, okay? So if somebody comes down and say, well, how did she get her 1,000 subscribers? Your girl be hustling. My children have to go to school at 5, 6 in the morning. I have to get them up. And while I'm getting them up, I'm sharing my videos. I'm sharing my videos on Entertainment Tonight. I'm sharing my videos on Bravo. Whatever video, whatever site that I can get it on, that don't gray it out and call it spam, I'm sharing it to it. I'll greatly appreciate if my subscribers shared my videos too. That would be wonderful. But to me, they don't be moving fast enough, in my opinion. And if I don't see my video shared, and I'm knowing you watching it, and I'm getting like 500 views on it, and I don't see a share from anybody but me, then that's fine with me. If I have to do it, I have to do it. Same thing with you and Jay-Z, Beyonce. We ain't in the same category by no means. I know that. But at the same time, we are all human beings, and we are all African American, and we all have the same struggle in this country here. So, you got enough money to start your own Grammys. Okay? Keep that in mind. Like I said, with that, I'm going to close Country Conversations DVD. Share. And as I do when I close, I'm going to chunk them up.